Hello everybody, Average Gamer, welcome to another episode of Supreme Ruler Ultimate as China. So in the last episode, we deploying our troops properly, or trying to reallocate our troops, I guess. It's a little bit more efficient locations, and all that stuff. And apparently selling everything, Jesus. So this way, basically, the only troops that are now going to be internally to the country are troops that are for deployment purposes. So we have our troops stationed along our east coast, kind of sparsely. We have our troops along the Indian border, Europe, and then kind of spread out around the Middle East section. Nothing too crazy when it comes to deployments, so I'm just going to slowly get the remaining 195 done. The next thing will be the Air Force. The Navy I already have kind of set up the way I wanted it. It's one of the bonuses of kind of when you build it and just deploy it and all that stuff. I think our aircraft carrier is... Oh, our aircraft carrier is done. I think our aircraft carrier is done. Wow, haven't really deployed our full we've deployed our full ground forces, and we barely have made a dent in our reserve populations, so it's kind of scary. The army we have right now is pretty much bigger than everybody's. And yet again, a whole 20 offers for trade goods. Mostly consumer goods from the looks of it, though. It's very strange. Like, all of a sudden, everyone's buying consumer goods like they're going out of style. Kind of takes that moment where it's like, okay, well, I just upped our price for consumer goods. And other barracks is done. Some more research has been completed. We're getting a lot of vehicles done and out of the way. I think pretty much now it's all units and stuff like that. Yeah. We're slowly getting them out. And I'm noticing more units are actually going to reserves. For some retarded reason. These guys, do we have a base along this area here? We do. That'd be good to have them there. Are they all at the same location? It kind of looks like they are. I think all the remaining units are here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to pause for a few moments here. Our European group is in place. Our Indian group is in place. These guys are just deploying a little bit more. These guys are still deploying. Okay, these guys are all done, so we're going to scrap all of these. And the Air Force, I'm not too worried about its locations, mainly because you can easily just move those guys around, so... It's one of the... Oh. Reserve there. All reserve there. All reserve there. Because it's that's one of their production sites. So one of them must have been one of those locations there, or that location there. I didn't realize. Air defense units. a whole bunch more consumer goods and things like that. Get all those out of the way. You come down here. Okay, what is this? What is this? Okay, it's building agriculture. So our military's pretty much deployed now. Just gonna get... Oh, those guys all moved around. Once they're in place, we throw everyone back into reserve again. Actually, I'm gonna start putting guys in reserve now. Let's make it a lot easier. Reserve. There, I think. Everyone here is pretty much deployed as is, but these guys are going to into reserve. There. You guys minus that surface to air missile. Reserve. Reserve. Reserves, please. And all of you as well. Where's the base? There it is. Sometimes the base is just fucking hard to see. Reserve. Right there. Moscow troops. Nope. Crap. Screwed that up. Reserve. There, please. You guys. Reserve there. All of you are going to reserve right there. And one of the good things about this, I can highlight these guys as double click reserve and they'll go to the right reserve. Boom, boom. And in a matter of a couple seconds, we'll see troops starting to go into reserve units. Perfect. Well, highlight. Those three go. Don't click reserve. These guys, reserve. These guys, double click reserve. Those guys, double click reserve. Double click reserve again for these guys. Because what happens sometimes is you get too many guys going into reserve, and some people pop out naturally. A little western wall there. It's good. One unit left over there. Reserve, please. Reserve, please. And you're all going to reserve at that location. I don't even think I even have a name for that military base. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to accept all 30 of these offers, even though I know what idea half of them are. I'm just going to accept them anyways because I know they're all trade deals. So as of this moment, we have 19 aircraft deployed, mostly here in Africa and over here in Caribbean, plus an airstrike group down here. Our Navy, same thing. Most of them are going to be replaced. Most of them are here. There's a couple of ships here. No one here, but ships here, and I think we had a couple of destroyers down here. Yeah, we got a couple destroyers. All set up there. There's an election in Chad. Meh, no big deal. What I want to do is look at our economy and see how we are doing. Start at 2311. We're at 67.98 for our GDP. Our inflation is at 15.7, so we got to worry about that. Unemployment still pretty low. We got to slowly let that climb back up. Overall tax rate's 24.7. So that's going to stay as is for the moment. But our GDP is climbing slowly. And most people will probably say, GDP is useless, blah, 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 blah. Remember, GDP is how much money your people are making. The more money your people are making, the more money you make on things like taxes and stuff like that. So the only catch-22 is with the more money you're making there, the more it's also costing you in other places. So, for example, it costs me more money in production, so to build stuff, goods and all that stuff, than it would be to have a cheaper GDP. So it's kind of an offset, right? Like for example, right now, if we wanted to, we could increase taxes a little bit, but right now also our actual domestic approval is starting to go up. It's actually in the double digits, which is or 23%. So it's almost at a quarter. So pretty good for what we've been at in the past. Advanced naval production, we're not too worried about that right now. Adaptable computing. Our people are supportive of it. The world doesn't really give two shits, but our efficiency research goes up by 5%, and it unlocks a whole bunch of other stuff, so we're going to do that. Advanced robotics. Finished goods facilities efficiency goes up by 5%. We'll take that. Sooner or later, we'll unlock the better ones as well. Anti-vaccines. Okay, we don't want to do this because our people do not want us to do that. Advanced production for naval units, we'll use that. One thing I'm looking forward to being able to do, once we're able to do it, I think it's industrial. So we have things like composite ore and, consumer goods, things like that. Later on, you get additional versions of those stuff. For military goods, industrial goods, and consumer goods that actually produce more at a cheaper rate. Then slowly what we'll end up doing is having to go through and basically slowly phase all of those out. Okay, we're going to unpause. Offer from Cuba, we'll do that. Diplomatic offer from Hungary, or no, Hungary. They want timber. Okay, sure. I'm going to slow the time down a little bit here, and I want to look at our international opinions again. So, Argentina is starting to warm up to us. And that's about it for the moment. The Americans are still... Yeah, see, we like them, but they don't like us. So... I don't think they have any crazy aircraft technology yet. Yeah, they're still... This is going to sound really strange, but they're actually still behind us in tech. Go figure. Go figure. East Pakistan... doing good. I don't like the fact that Pakistan has so many troops active. That makes me nervous. We might have to make a bit of a move on that. Egyptian Palestine, Jordanian Palestine. Interesting. Gaza should be a puppet for Israel. Oof. No one likes Israel. Except Egypt. Egypt loves Israel, and so does Syria. That's kind of weird. That is really weird. Most of Eastern Europe does not like the U.S. Afghanistan, Iraq. So pretty much a lot of the countries that like us don't like the Americans. What are the odds? Venezuela. Would you like to be maybe my... No. Don't want to invade another country right now. We need to kind of stabilize ourselves, get ourselves into a better economic position first before we start wiping other countries off the map. Sweden is going nuclear. No big deal. And it's that time of day again. We get 23 offers to buy consumer goods from the looks of it. Whole bunch of consumer... The only thing changes basically is the amount offered. Because the amount obviously changes. So we're just going to sell everyone those consumer goods. Jesus. Not many units that we're detecting in Africa. Countdown in Swaziland for the government. The arrangements we have with them are that we have an embassy there. And that's it. Unpause there. Kind of tempted to invade Japan. I know we can invade. The only problem is when we land there, we're going to run out of supply real fast, and their supply is beyond perfect. We would have to... An AMX and a Marine carrier, and that's probably another AMX. If we were to invade Japan, we would probably have to invade down here. Like along these islands, like along, I think it's Sasebo is in here. It's Nagasaki. Where's Sasebo? Shambara. There it is right there. Okay. So we wouldn't be able to hit that. So we'd actually hit Nagasaki. Is there a spot where I can cut the country? Now, yeah, I can drop troops. I can probably amphibiously land troops here in this area and cut this entire island off and slowly try to figure out how to work our way around. It's definitely one of those things we're going to try and figure it out here. Because, I mean, this has a port. So if we landed troops here, that would not be a bad thing. Now what I would probably do is airdrop first troops here to capture the port. And then land troops. So land here and here. Special forces. Which I don't know if we can even build right now. Yeah, we have elite forces. We don't have any, so let's build a bunch. 3, 4, 5. Actually, we have them on continuous builds. We don't want continuous build. We want... That's update. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10. There you go. 15. 15 groups of special forces. What they'll do, say we go to Japan, for example, we'll put them on stealth mode, meaning that they don't capture territory. We will fly in and drop them all over this island to basically surprise any attacks. So like we'll drop a couple here, a couple here, a couple here, maybe 1 or 2 in this area, just so we can kind of do a shock. We'll also, I mean, this is the best way to do amphibious landings. Would be to obviously drop special forces there. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. Drop maybe a couple here, so we get an airbase. There's no port on this island. No port here. There's a port here and a port here. So if anything, we would have to drop troops there to capture this port. Capture that. I really wouldn't worry too much about these islands, because none of them have a port. So, yeah, pretty much land special forces, at least 5 there. Capture that. Land 5 there to capture that. And then maybe land 5 in this general area to try to cut the island off for a little bit while our troops land here and then push up. They would meet with the special forces, and special forces would then go home. Because the 5 would be there. As they push this way, the other ones here would push there. When they're done, they go home to reserve. We'll have a special base for them specifically. Somewhere down here. Does this have any reserves in it? No, it doesn't. So we might actually use this base right here. We can't rename it. Oh, we can. So this is our special forces base. So what's going to happen is the 15 of them, I'm going to bring them down here and deploy them. I'm also going to deploy... Actually, I could probably deploy some of those cargo aircraft right now that we were building earlier. That we have that are in reserve. Constellation, Stratotanker, Stratofortress. Wait, what? I thought I had built... There they are, the Starlifters. Deploy... Yeah, 4 Starlifters to there. Don't think we have any aircraft or any helicopters, though. No. Do we have any transport choppers? We do. We have the HIP. The Halo. $677 tons. I would like to see how much it can carry, though. Cargo capacity, 480 tons. How much are our special forces? How much do they weigh? Yep. 108. Perfect. Okay, we're good. So we're going to build... There we go. 4... What's a heavy lifter? No, we're going to go with the Halo. For them. Then we don't have to worry anything about naval ships, so... The plan is to have, for them to have a dock, mainly for them to get in and out of the country. So, but I might station like some sort of aircraft there or something. But yeah, so we're building 4 Halos, and of course the 15 special forces as well. This will turn out pretty good. We're gonna grade all these again. Combat UAVs. Wait, does that give me actual UAV tech now? No, anti-vaccine. We have Kodiak Light. New tanks. New escort ship. No new missiles. Okay, well that is going to be that episode. So we got our special forces base all set up. We did a few other things politically and all that stuff just to take a look at stuff. But there we go. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.